ladies and gentlemen. Today, I want to speak about a topic that often goes unspoken but carries a lot of weight: a woman with no friends. This is not about loneliness or isolation in the typical sense. It's about understanding the power, strength, and resilience a woman can cultivate when she finds herself walking alone. First, let's address the societal expectation that every woman should have a tight-knit circle of friends, the belief that women need constant companionship to feel complete. While friendships can be wonderful and supportive, a woman with no friends is not lesser. She is not broken. In fact, she can be someone extraordinary. Relying on oneself is a fundamental aspect of personal growth, independence, and resilience. When a woman has no friends to lean on, she is often forced to become self-reliant, but this doesn't mean she is at a disadvantage. In fact, this situation can lead to profound growth and empowerment. Being alone fosters self-reliance in ways that are often underappreciated in a society that places such high value on friendships and external support systems. When a woman navigates life without the constant input of friends, she becomes her own advisor. Every decision, whether large or small, comes from within. She doesn't have the luxury of turning to others for advice, approval, or validation, so she is required to develop her own sense of judgment. This sharpens her instincts and heightens her awareness of her own thoughts, values, and beliefs. While many people are influenced by the opinions of those around them, a self-reliant woman listens to her inner voice, trusting it more with each decision she makes. Making decisions on her own teaches her to trust herself. This is one of the greatest gifts of self-reliance. When there are no external voices guiding her, she becomes intimately acquainted with her own mind. She knows what she likes, what she wants, and what she needs without second-guessing herself. This is not to say that she is inflexible or unwilling to learn from others, but her sense of self becomes the foundation from which all decisions stem. She can move through life confidently, knowing that her choices are her own. In developing this self-trust, she also learns accountability. There is no one else to blame when things go wrong and no one else to credit when things go right. This forces her to take full responsibility for her actions and their outcomes. Accountability, though sometimes daunting, is empowering. It frees her from the need to seek approval or justify her decisions to others. She knows that the path she takes is hers alone, and this knowledge brings with it a sense of freedom. Without friends to turn to for help or advice, she also learns how to solve problems on her own. Problem solving becomes a skill she hones daily, whether it involves navigating emotional challenges or handling practical, everyday issues. Over time, she becomes adept at analyzing situations, weighing options, and finding solutions that work best for her. The absence of external input forces her to become resourceful. She doesn't wait for someone else to step in and save her, she takes action herself. In the process of solving problems independently, she discovers her own capabilities. Often, people don't realize what they are capable of until they are left with no other choice but to act. A woman who walks alone through life will repeatedly face situations where she must rely on her own skills, knowledge, and perseverance. With each challenge she overcomes, her confidence grows. She no longer doubts her ability to navigate the world because she has proven to herself, time and time again, that she can. Another critical aspect of self-reliance is emotional resilience. Without friends to provide comfort during difficult times, a self-reliant woman must learn to handle her emotions on her own. She becomes her own support system, managing her feelings in healthy and constructive ways. She learns how to self-soothe, how to process her emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them, and how to keep moving forward, even when the weight of the world seems to rest on her shoulders. This emotional strength is a byproduct of her solitude, and it makes her resilient in ways that many people who depend on others for emotional support may never experience. Self-reliance also breeds independence. A woman who has no friends learns to live life on her own terms. She is not swayed by peer pressure, and she doesn't need others to validate her choices. She can travel alone, pursue her career goals, and take up hobbies without needing someone else to join her or approve of her decisions. This independence gives her the freedom to live authentically. She doesn't need to conform to the expectations of a social circle or worry about maintaining relationships that no longer serve her. Instead, she creates a life that reflects her true self. In this independence, she finds a deeper connection to herself. Without the constant chatter of friendships, she is more in tune with her own thoughts, desires, and dreams. She has the time and space to reflect on what truly matters to her, without the influence of others steering her in different directions. This self-awareness allows her to live intentionally, making choices that align with her core values and long-term goals. She becomes the architect of her own life, crafting a future that is built entirely on her own terms. However, it's important to recognize that self-reliance doesn't mean she is closed off from others or unwilling to accept help when needed. It simply means that she knows she doesn't need others to navigate life successfully. If and when she does choose to seek help, it comes from a place of strength, not dependency. She knows that she is capable of standing on her own, and any support she receives is a bonus, not a necessity. Ultimately, self-reliance teaches a woman that she is enough. In a world that often tells women they need to be surrounded by friends, partners, and external support to thrive, a self-reliant woman stands as proof that this is not true. She thrives because she has learned to rely on herself. She understands that everything she needs to succeed, to be happy, and to live a fulfilling life already exists within her. This realization is both liberating and empowering, allowing her to live boldly and unapologetically. In solitude, she discovers that her own company is enough. She is at peace with who she is, and she doesn't need to seek approval, comfort, or companionship from others to feel complete. Self-reliance has shown her that she is strong, capable, and worthy, not because of who surrounds her, but because of who she is. When a woman finds herself in solitude, without a circle of friends to rely on, she often discovers an untapped reservoir of inner strength. This strength, while perhaps initially born out of necessity, becomes a defining characteristic of who she is. It is easy to equate having many friends with emotional support, but when that support system is absent, a woman must learn to draw from her own reserves of power. And it is in that very process that she becomes resilient in ways she may never have imagined. At first, the absence of friends can feel daunting. Social connections, after all, offer comfort, validation, and a sense of belonging. But when those connections aren't present, a woman faces an emotional challenge. She is forced to stand on her own, to confront her feelings of loneliness or vulnerability without the immediate balm of companionship. Yet, in this very experience, she begins to strengthen her emotional muscles. She learns to carry her burdens alone, finding ways to heal herself, to cope, and to keep moving forward even when no one is cheering her on. What makes this experience particularly transformative is that it pushes her to confront herself in ways she might not have had to with a supportive group of friends. Without others to lean on during tough times, she has no choice but to face her fears, insecurities, and doubts head-on. This forces her to develop an intimate relationship with her own emotions. She learns to navigate the full spectrum of her feelings, whether it's sadness, frustration, joy, or fear, without relying on others to guide her through. In doing so, she builds a deep emotional resilience. As she becomes more in tune with her emotions, she learns to manage them in healthier, more constructive ways. Instead of seeking comfort in the opinions or sympathy of others, she discovers techniques to regulate her emotions on her own. This might involve developing coping mechanisms like journaling, meditating, exercising, or practicing mindfulness. Over time, she masters the art of self-soothing, something many people never fully achieve because they are too accustomed to leaning on external sources for comfort. She becomes her own emotional caretaker, knowing exactly what she needs in times of distress and how to provide it for herself. Her inner strength also manifests in her ability to persevere through adversity. Life is unpredictable, and challenges come in many forms, whether it's financial difficulties, relationship struggles, health issues, or emotional pain. Without friends to serve as a safety net, she becomes incredibly resourceful in finding ways to cope. Each obstacle she overcomes on her own adds another layer of strength to her character. She develops a sense of confidence in her ability to handle whatever life throws her way, because she has already proven to herself that she can survive and thrive without relying on others. As she continues to face challenges alone, something remarkable happens. She begins to view adversity differently. Rather than seeing hardships as overwhelming or insurmountable, she starts to see them as opportunities for growth. This shift in perspective is a direct result of the inner strength she has cultivated. She knows that each trial she faces, no matter how difficult, will ultimately make her stronger and more resilient. Her past experiences have shown her that she is capable of enduring, and this knowledge empowers her to approach future challenges with a sense of calm and determination. Her strength is not just emotional, though. It also translates into a deep mental fortitude. When a woman has no one to turn to for advice or support, she must rely entirely on her own judgment. This means she has to think critically, analyze situations, and make decisions without the input of others. Over time, this sharpens her mental acuity. She becomes adept at problem solving, finding creative solutions to issues, and thinking on her feet. Without the distraction or influence of others, her mind becomes a powerful tool that she trusts implicitly. Moreover, this inner strength transforms her sense of independence. A woman who has learned to stand strong on her own, without the constant support of friends, is a woman who is truly free. She knows she is capable of navigating the world without needing to rely on others for guidance or validation. This independence is incredibly empowering. It allows her to take bold steps in her career, her personal life, and her relationships because she knows she can handle whatever consequences may come. She doesn't need to second-guess herself or seek permission from anyone else. Her own strength is enough to carry her forward. This kind of independence also frees her from the fear of rejection or abandonment. Many people stay in unhealthy friendships or relationships out of fear of being alone, fear of not being liked, or fear of losing support. But a woman who has cultivated inner strength does not operate from a place of fear. She understands that even if she is left standing alone, she will still be okay. She has already proven to herself that she can stand strong in solitude, so the prospect of being rejected or abandoned no longer holds any power over her. She knows that her worth is not dependent on how many people are in her life, but rather on the strength she has built within herself. There is also a quiet dignity in her strength. A woman who relies on her inner power does not need to broadcast it to the world. She doesn't seek attention or validation for her resilience. Instead, she carries it within her, a steady, unshakable force that informs everything she does. People around her may not even realize how strong she is because she doesn't feel the need to prove it. Her strength is not about bravado or outward displays of power. It's about a deep internal sense of knowing that she is capable, that she is enough, and that she can handle whatever life brings her way. Ultimately, this strength becomes a defining part of who she is. It shapes her worldview, her relationships, and her approach to life. She no longer fears solitude because she knows that her strength comes from within, not from the people around her. This allows her to build a life that is truly her own, a life that reflects her values, her desires, and her goals, rather than the expectations or needs of others. This inner strength, born from walking alone, becomes her most valuable asset. It is the foundation upon which she builds her life, her relationships, and her future. It is what allows her to not only survive, but to thrive, even in the face of adversity. And it is what makes her truly unbreakable. Self-love is one of the most powerful forms of personal strength, especially for a woman who finds herself without friends to offer comfort or validation. In a society that often teaches women to look to others for affirmation and self-worth, a woman without friends learns to forge a different path. She discovers that the love she seeks must come from within, and as she embarks on this journey of self-love, she cultivates a sense of fulfillment and wholeness that is not dependent on external relationships. At first, the absence of friends may create a void that feels impossible to fill. For many, friendships provide a mirror through which they can see their value reflected back at them. Compliments, support, and shared experiences help to shape a person's sense of self-worth. But when a woman finds herself without this external feedback, she is faced with a choice. She can either let this absence erode her sense of value, or she can begin the process of building that value from within. For a woman who chooses the latter, the journey towards self-love begins. This journey is not easy, and it requires confronting deeply ingrained beliefs about what it means to be valuable. Many women grow up internalizing the message that their worth is tied to how others perceive them, whether they are liked, accepted, or admired. Without friends to reinforce these ideas, a woman must unlearn the belief that her value is defined by her relationships. Instead, she begins to look inward, seeking out the parts of herself that are worthy of love, regardless of what anyone else thinks or says. As she starts to develop self-love, she becomes more attuned to her own needs, desires, and boundaries. This is one of the most transformative aspects of the process. In the absence of friends, she no longer has to prioritize the needs or opinions of others. Instead, she is free to focus on herself, to discover what truly makes her happy, and to understand her own worth on her terms. She learns to listen to her own voice, to trust her intuition, and to honor her emotions without needing anyone else's approval. This is a deeply empowering shift, as it allows her to create a life that is aligned with her authentic self. One of the key components of self-love is learning to be kind to oneself. Without friends to offer encouragement or reassurance, a woman must become her own source of positivity and support. She learns how to speak to herself in a way that is nurturing rather than critical. Instead of looking to others for compliments or validation, she gives those things to herself. She recognizes her strengths, celebrates her accomplishments, and treats herself with the compassion and understanding that she might have once sought from her friends. This shift in perspective also changes how she handles failure or setbacks. A woman who loves herself does not see mistakes as a reflection of her worth. Instead, she views them as opportunities for growth and learning. She understands that failure is a part of life, but it does not diminish her value. When she stumbles, she picks herself up with grace, knowing that her worth is not tied to her achievements or her mistakes, but rather to who she is at her core. This self-compassion is a key element of self-love, and it allows her to navigate life's challenges with resilience and strength. As her self-love deepens, she also becomes more protective of her energy and her time. Without the distractions of maintaining friendships that may not serve her, she is able to set boundaries that reflect her self-worth. She no longer feels the need to say yes to every invitation or to accommodate others at the expense of her own well-being. Instead, she prioritizes her own needs and desires, understanding that her time and energy are precious. This is not selfishness, but rather a recognition that in order to truly love herself, she must honor her own boundaries. Self-love also changes the way she interacts with others. A woman who loves herself is less likely to tolerate unhealthy relationships, whether they are friendships, romantic partnerships, or family dynamics. She recognizes her worth and understands that she deserves to be treated with respect and kindness. Without the fear of being alone or the need for external validation, she is more willing to walk away from relationships that do not honor her value. This ability to set healthy boundaries and to choose relationships that nourish rather than deplete her is a direct result of her self-love. In addition, self-love fosters a sense of inner peace. A woman who has learned to love herself is not constantly seeking approval or validation from others. She does not need to prove her worth or seek out attention to feel valuable. Instead, she is content in her own company, knowing that she is enough just as she is. This inner peace allows her to navigate life with a sense of calm and confidence that is not easily shaken by the opinions or judgments of others. She understands that her worth is not contingent on external factors, and this gives her the freedom to live authentically and unapologetically. Another important aspect of self-love is the ability to forgive oneself. A woman who has learned to love herself does not hold on to guilt or shame over past mistakes or shortcomings. Instead, she recognizes that she is human and that imperfection is a part of the human experience. She offers herself the same forgiveness and compassion that she might once have sought from friends. This self-forgiveness allows her to release the weight of the past and to move forward with a sense of lightness and freedom. Through the journey of self-love, a woman also becomes more in tune with her own passions and purpose. Without the influence of friends or societal expectations, she is free to explore what truly excites and fulfills her. She is no longer bound by the need to conform to what others think she should be or do. Instead, she follows her own path, guided by her own desires and dreams. This freedom to pursue her passions without fear of judgment or rejection is one of the most liberating aspects of self-love. Ultimately, the process of cultivating self-love transforms the way a woman sees herself and the world around her. She no longer views herself through the lens of others' opinions or expectations. Instead, she understands that her worth is inherent and that she is deserving of love and happiness simply because she exists. This realization brings with it a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment, as she no longer needs external validation to feel complete. A woman who has learned to love herself is a force to be reckoned with. She stands strong in her own worth, unshaken by the opinions or judgments of others. She knows that her value comes from within, and that nothing can take that away from her. This inner strength, born from self-love, allows her to live a life that is authentic, fulfilling, and true to who she is at her core. The experience of being a woman without friends can often lead to a profound realization of the power of independence. In a world where social connections are frequently emphasized as the cornerstone of happiness and fulfillment, a woman who finds herself alone learns that her self-sufficiency can be an incredible source of strength. This journey into independence can be both challenging and liberating, as it forces her to confront the beliefs and expectations society places on friendship, companionship, and self-worth. Initially, the absence of friends might evoke feelings of loneliness and isolation. It's common to feel that one is missing out on the joys and support that come from having a close-knit circle. However, this solitude can also serve as a catalyst for self-discovery. When a woman is removed from the social dynamics that often dictate her self-image, she is presented with a unique opportunity to redefine who she is on her own terms. The initial feelings of loneliness can give way to an exploration of her own identity, independent of how others perceive her. The first step towards embracing independence is recognizing the value of being alone. While society often equates solitude with sadness, a woman can learn to appreciate the quiet moments of introspection that come from spending time with herself. In these moments, she discovers her likes, dislikes, passions, and dreams, elements of her identity that might have been overshadowed by the influence of friends. This self-exploration allows her to understand her own values and desires, which can lead to a stronger sense of self-worth. As she delves deeper into her own interests, she realizes that she can create joy and fulfillment within herself, independent of external validation. This realization is transformative. She no longer relies on friends to determine her happiness. Instead, she learns to cultivate joy through her hobbies, career, and personal projects. This newfound independence empowers her to pursue her passions wholeheartedly, leading to a more authentic and fulfilling life. Moreover, the journey toward independence encourages personal growth. A woman who learns to rely on herself faces challenges that, although daunting, contribute to her development. Whether it's learning a new skill, tackling a project, or simply managing day-to-day responsibilities, she gains confidence in her abilities. Each challenge she overcomes reinforces her belief in herself and her capacity to navigate life without needing others to prop her up. This builds resilience, allowing her to confront future obstacles with a sense of determination and self-assuredness. Additionally, independence fosters self-discipline. When she's responsible for her own happiness, she must learn to set goals, manage her time, and prioritize her needs. This requires a level of discipline that can be empowering. Without the distractions of social obligations, she can focus on her own priorities. Whether it's committing to a fitness routine, pursuing a career goal, or simply dedicating time to self-care, she begins to see the fruits of her labor. The sense of accomplishment that comes from meeting these goals reinforces her independence and builds a strong foundation for her self-esteem. Being independent also allows her to become more self-aware. When she is not constantly seeking external validation or approval, she can reflect on her thoughts and feelings without the noise of social expectations. This introspection can lead to a deeper understanding of her emotions, motivations, and aspirations. It opens up space for self-acceptance as she learns to embrace her flaws and appreciate her unique qualities. This self-awareness is essential for personal growth, as it enables her to identify areas where she wants to improve or change, free from the influence of others. Another significant aspect of independence is the freedom it brings. A woman without friends can make choices based solely on her own desires and aspirations. She is no longer tethered to the expectations of a social circle, allowing her to explore opportunities that resonate with her authentic self. This could mean traveling solo, pursuing a career path that ignites her passion, or simply choosing how she spends her time without consulting anyone else. This freedom can be exhilarating as she discovers the joy of making decisions that align with her true self. Furthermore, independence allows her to build a life that reflects her own values and priorities. When she is not influenced by the opinions of friends, she can create a space that feels genuinely hers. This includes cultivating a home environment that reflects her personality, selecting career paths that resonate with her interests, and choosing lifestyle habits that contribute to her well-being. This intentionality in shaping her life contributes to a deeper sense of satisfaction and fulfillment as she lives in alignment with her true self. The journey toward independence also fosters an appreciation for solitude. As she becomes comfortable being alone, she discovers the beauty in quiet moments. She learns to relish the time spent in her own company, whether it's curling up with a good book, enjoying nature, or engaging in creative pursuits. This appreciation for solitude allows her to recharge and reflect, leading to a more balanced and harmonious life. It can be empowering to realize that she does not need the constant presence of others to find joy and fulfillment. Moreover, as her independence flourishes, she may find herself naturally attracting new connections that align with her authentic self. When she embodies confidence and self-assuredness, she radiates a magnetic energy that can draw like-minded individuals toward her. These new connections are likely to be based on mutual respect and shared interests rather than the superficial bonds that can sometimes arise in social circles. This shift can lead to healthier, more meaningful relationships built on a foundation of shared values. Independence also cultivates gratitude. A woman who has learned to stand on her own begins to appreciate the little things in life, recognizing that happiness comes from within. She learns to find joy in everyday moments and to celebrate her accomplishments, no matter how small. This gratitude can enhance her overall sense of well-being and foster a positive outlook on life, allowing her to approach challenges with resilience and optimism. Ultimately, the journey of embracing independence as a woman without friends transforms her perception of herself and her place in the world. She emerges stronger, more self-reliant, and fully aware of her capabilities. By learning to navigate life without relying on external validation, she discovers a profound sense of freedom and fulfillment. This independence becomes a cornerstone of her identity, empowering her to create a life that is uniquely hers, rich with purpose and authenticity. The lessons learned during this journey not only strengthen her, but also pave the way for new and meaningful connections in the future. Finding peace with oneself can often feel like an elusive goal, especially for a woman without friends. In a world that frequently equates social connections with self-worth and happiness, it can be challenging to navigate the complex emotions that arise from solitude. However, the journey towards self-acceptance and inner peace begins when she learns to cultivate a positive relationship with herself. This journey is essential for her emotional well-being, resilience, and overall sense of fulfillment. Initially, a woman without friends may experience feelings of loneliness and self-doubt. The absence of social validation can be overwhelming, leading her to question her worth and desirability. Society often sends the message that friendships are vital for happiness, and without them, one might feel incomplete or inadequate. However, this period of solitude can be reframed as an opportunity for deep self-reflection. It is in this silence that she can begin to hear her own thoughts, desires, and dreams without the noise of external opinions. To find peace within, she must first confront her internal dialogue. Negative self-talk is a common hurdle for many women, and without the counterbalance of supportive friendships, these critical voices can grow louder. This critical inner voice may tell her that she is unworthy, unlovable, or not enough. It is crucial for her to recognize these thoughts as not merely truths, but rather as narratives she has internalized over time. By acknowledging these thoughts, she can begin to challenge and reframe them. This process involves practicing self-compassion and kindness towards herself. Instead of chastising herself for perceived shortcomings, she learns to treat herself with the same love and understanding she would offer a close friend. Practicing self-care is another powerful tool in her journey toward inner peace. Self-care is not merely a buzzword, it is an essential practice for fostering well-being. When she is alone, she has the freedom to prioritize her own needs without feeling guilty. This could mean engaging in activities that bring her joy, whether it's reading a book, exploring nature, or pursuing a new hobby. Engaging in self-care activities allows her to recharge and reconnect with herself, fostering a deeper sense of self-awareness and appreciation. Meditation and mindfulness practices can also play a significant role in her quest for inner peace. These practices encourage her to cultivate a present moment awareness that can alleviate feelings of anxiety and restlessness. Through meditation, she learns to observe her thoughts and emotions without judgment, creating space for self-acceptance. Mindfulness allows her to appreciate the beauty of her surroundings and the simple joys of everyday life. This awareness can help her to shift her focus from what is lacking, namely friendships, to what is present and enriching in her life. As she continues to build a positive relationship with herself, she begins to explore her values and passions. A woman without friends is often free from the pressure to conform to social expectations, allowing her to discover what truly resonates with her. This exploration can lead to personal growth and the development of a more profound sense of identity. Whether she finds joy in creative pursuits, physical activities, or intellectual challenges, the act of engaging with her interests can foster a sense of fulfillment that is independent of external validation. Developing new skills can also contribute to her inner peace. As she sets goals for herself, be it learning to play a musical instrument, mastering a new recipe, or taking up a new sport, she experiences a sense of achievement that boosts her self-esteem. Each accomplishment reinforces her belief in her capabilities, empowering her to take on new challenges with confidence. This newfound self-assurance is a crucial aspect of building a peaceful and contented life. Additionally, embracing solitude can lead to personal empowerment. When she learns to be comfortable with her own company, she cultivates a strong sense of independence. This independence can be liberating, as she is no longer dependent on others for her happiness. Instead, she finds joy in her own presence, recognizing that she is enough just as she is. This empowerment fosters resilience, allowing her to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and confidence. The journey to inner peace also involves letting go of comparisons with others. In a social media-driven world, it is easy to fall into the trap of comparing one's life to the seemingly perfect lives of friends or acquaintances. A woman without friends can benefit from consciously choosing to limit her exposure to social media, creating a healthier mental space for herself. By reframing her perspective and recognizing that everyone has their struggles, she can focus on her unique journey without the weight of comparison. Forgiveness is another vital aspect of finding peace within. Holding on to past grievances, whether related to herself or others, can create emotional turmoil. She must learn to forgive herself for past mistakes, recognizing that everyone is human and makes errors. This act of self-forgiveness releases the burden of guilt and shame, allowing her to embrace her true self. Similarly, forgiving others who may have wronged her in the past can free her from the emotional chains that bind her. This liberation paves the way for her to move forward with an open heart, ready to embrace new experiences and connections. Creating a supportive environment is also essential for fostering inner peace. This may involve decluttering her physical space, as a tidy environment can have a calming effect on the mind. She can surround herself with objects that bring her joy, whether it's art, photographs, or plants. Additionally, cultivating a routine that prioritizes self-care and personal growth can provide her with a sense of stability and purpose. This routine can include time for reflection, exercise, creative endeavors, and relaxation. Connecting with nature can also play a significant role in her journey toward inner peace. Spending time outdoors allows her to unplug from the chaos of daily life and reconnect with the natural world. Nature has a way of grounding us, reminding us of the beauty and simplicity that exists beyond social constructs. Whether it's taking a walk in the park, hiking in the mountains, or simply sitting by a body of water, these moments of connection with nature can instill a deep sense of tranquility and perspective. As she embraces her solitude and continues her journey of self-discovery, she may find that her perspective on relationships begins to shift. Rather than seeking friendships out of a sense of need or obligation, she learns to value quality over quantity. When she does open herself up to new connections, she does so from a place of self-assuredness, knowing that she is worthy of relationships that uplift and support her. This shift in perspective allows her to approach new friendships with a sense of excitement and openness rather than desperation. Ultimately, the journey toward finding peace within is a deeply personal one. A woman without friends can transform her solitude into an opportunity for self-discovery, growth, and empowerment. By cultivating self-love, practicing mindfulness, and embracing her independence, she lays the foundation for a life that is rich in meaning and fulfillment. Through this journey, she not only finds inner peace, but also becomes a beacon of strength and resilience, inspiring others to seek their own paths towards self-acceptance and happiness. The journey of self-discovery is a profound and often transformative experience, especially for a woman without friends. In a world that frequently emphasizes social connections and communal experiences, the path to understanding oneself can feel isolating. Yet, this solitude can become a powerful ally, offering a unique opportunity to explore inner thoughts, feelings, and aspirations. As she navigates this journey, she discovers the profound significance of understanding her values, beliefs, and desires, leading her to a richer, more authentic life. Initially, a woman in this situation may grapple with feelings of loneliness and insecurity. Without the support system that friendships often provide, it's common for her to feel adrift, questioning her identity and worth. However, these feelings can serve as a catalyst for introspection. The absence of external distractions allows her to focus inward, prompting essential questions. Who am I? What do I truly want from life? What are my core beliefs and values? As she begins to engage with these questions, she finds that understanding her values is crucial. Values serve as a guiding compass, influencing decisions and shaping life's direction. They can include aspects like honesty, kindness, ambition, creativity, or independence. By taking the time to identify what truly matters to her, she can start making choices that align with her authentic self, rather than conforming to societal expectations or the opinions of others. This alignment fosters a sense of purpose and fulfillment, which is especially empowering in moments of solitude. The process of self-discovery is often accompanied by a deeper understanding of her beliefs. Many women grow up internalizing societal narratives about friendship, success, and happiness, which can sometimes be limiting. For instance, she may feel pressured to fit into a mold of what a successful woman looks like, often defined by her relationships or social status. However, in solitude, she has the chance to challenge these narratives. She can reflect on whether these beliefs resonate with her true self or if they have been imposed by external influences. Engaging in reflective practices such as journaling can be immensely beneficial during this phase. Writing allows her to articulate her thoughts and feelings, providing clarity and insight. By documenting her experiences, she can track her growth and identify patterns in her behavior and mindset. This practice helps her to confront fears, anxieties, and limiting beliefs, facilitating a process of emotional release and catharsis. As she writes, she begins to recognize her strengths and resilience, which can be incredibly affirming. Moreover, understanding her desires is a pivotal part of self-discovery. Often, women may suppress their own desires to meet the expectations of others or due to fear of judgment. In the absence of friendship, she can explore her aspirations and dreams without external influence. Whether it's pursuing a career, a creative passion, or a lifestyle change, this exploration allows her to reclaim her agency and embrace her ambitions. She may find that her desires evolve over time, reflecting her growth and changing perspectives. As she delves deeper into self-discovery, it becomes essential for her to cultivate self-acceptance. This journey is often fraught with challenges, including confronting insecurities and imperfections. Without the buffer of friends, it may be easier to become hypercritical of oneself. However, the path to self-acceptance involves acknowledging that everyone has flaws and that these imperfections do not diminish her worth. By practicing self-compassion, she learns to treat herself with kindness, fostering a healthier relationship with herself. In addition to self-compassion, self-care emerges as a vital component of this journey. Taking time to nurture her physical, emotional, and mental well-being is crucial. This could involve engaging in activities that bring her joy, such as exercising, cooking, or immersing herself in nature. By prioritizing self-care, she demonstrates to herself that her well-being matters. This commitment to caring for herself reinforces the idea that she is worthy of love and attention, regardless of her social circumstances. The exploration of new interests and hobbies is another significant aspect of self-discovery. In solitude, she has the freedom to try new activities without fear of judgment or the need to please others. Whether it's painting, dancing, hiking, or learning a new language, these pursuits can spark joy and ignite a sense of passion. Engaging in activities that resonate with her allows her to uncover hidden talents and develop new skills, contributing to her sense of identity.